Chapter 8. A New Interest in Life. The following Monday, Anne surprised Marilla by coming down from her room with her basket of books on her arm. "I'm going back to school," she announced. "That is all there is left in my life now that my friend has been torn from me. In school, I can look at her and think over days past." "You'd better pay attention to your lessons," said Marilla, trying to hide her delight at this development. "I hope we'll hear no more of breaking writing boards over people's heads and such. Be good and do just what your teacher tells you." "I'll try to be a model pupil," agreed Anne. "There won't be much fun in it, I expect, but I feel so unhappy that perhaps it will come easy to me." Anne was welcomed back to school with open arms. Her imagination had been missed in games, her voice in singing, and her great ability in the reading aloud of books at lunch hour. Everyone was kind to her, except Diana. "Diana might just have smiled at me once," Anne complained to Marilla that night. But the next morning, a note and a small package were passed across to Anne. "Dear Anne, Mother says I'm not to play with you or talk to you even in school. It isn't my fault, and don't be cross with me because I love you as much as ever. I miss telling my secrets to you. I made you one of the new bookmarks out of red paper. They are in fashion now, and only 3 girls in school know how to make them. When you look at it, remember me. Your true friend, Diana Barry." Anne read the note, kissed the gift, and sent a quick reply back to the other side of the school. "My own darling Diana, of course I'm not cross at you, because you have to obey your mother. But we can communicate like this. I shall keep your lovely little present forever. Yours until death us do part, Anne Shirley. P.S. I shall sleep with your letter under my pillow tonight." From then on, Anne devoted herself entirely to her studies. She was determined to be the model student. Soon, everyone at school knew of her rivalry with Gilbert Blythe. It was entirely good-natured on Gilbert's side, but the same thing cannot be said of Anne. Her hatreds were as strong as her loves. She did not admit that she meant to rival Gilbert in schoolwork, because that would have recognized that he existed, which she flatly refused to do. But honors flew back and forth between them. One day, Gilbert headed the spelling class. The next day, Anne, with a toss of her long red braids, was at the top. One morning, Gilbert had all his sums done correctly and had his name written on the blackboard, on the roll of honor. The next morning, Anne, having struggled with decimals the entire evening before, would be first. One awful day, they were tied and their names were written up together. Anne hated this as much as Gilbert liked it. Mr. Phillips might not have been a very good teacher, but a pupil as determined to learn as Anne was could make progress under any kind of teacher. By the end of the year, Anne and Gilbert were moved up to the 5th class and allowed to begin studying Latin, geometry, French, and algebra. In geometry, Anne met her match. "Geometry is perfectly awful stuff, Marilla," she complained. "I'm sure I'll never be able to understand it. Mr. Phillips says I'm the worst he ever saw at it. And some of the others are so smart at it. Even Diana is better than I am. But I don't mind being beaten by Diana. Even though we meet as strangers now, I still love her with an undying love. It makes me sad at times to think about her. But really, Marilla, one can't stay sad very long in such an interesting world, can one?"